Today I want to talk with you about fear. You know, the Christianity is facing an existential threat and a divine elimination and stuff. And there are all kinds of issues in the Christian community. There are layers of problems that need to be solved to correct the Christian destiny and get this European Reformation going. There is a European Reformation happening right now, but it's going slow and there's a lot of persecution. And if you look at it, if you look at the Christian destiny, the human destiny in general, you see that the greatest problem that we as Christians are facing is fear. Fear is like a cancer. The body of Christ is a cancer, and it's called fear. And I want you to remember something. You know, Martin Luther left over 70, I think 80 books. The ordinary man doesn't have the time to read all of that. But the whole writings, the over of Martin Luther, is about fear being the problem. All the writings that the man is talking about is fear, fear, fear of this, fear of that, fear of this, fear hijacking this, fear hijacking that. This is how you imprison humans through their fears. That's the whole thing. The whole message of Martin Luther can be summoned in one sentence. Fear is going to kill you. However, fear is actually designed to keep you alive. So here is the thing. You have to deal with your fear. You have to civilize your emotion of fear. In today's video, or emotion of fear. And today's video is specifically designed to help you civilize your fear. I'm going to show you the deepest secrets of fear mastery, overcoming fear. It's the most important thing you can do as a not just as a man, as a woman, doesn't matter. You must, if you want freedom, you must understand how to control fear. You cannot have freedom without controlling your fear. Anyone can enslave you through your fear. You must understand how to control fear. You cannot have freedom without controlling your fear. Anyone can enslave you through your fear. Someone, or how to terrorize someone, or to territorialize someone. How dare you look me in the eyes? I know how to use the deepness of the tone of my voice. I know how to use that body language. You know what I'm saying? I know how to talk with you. This is offensive speaking, offensive language. The offensive language is processed by the brain. Once you see someone showing offensive language or territorial behavior, dominance, the brain can respond to this by freezing, by fleeing, or by becoming angry yourself and reversing the game. And then you get a fight, you get a conflict, right? That's the core mechanics of fear. So every time I do this performance, hijacking, hey you know, just go into public and imitate what I just did. 90, they're trained, subconsciously or correct. Be invisible, hide, operate unseen, fear. Okay? Fear is gripping anyone. Speaking in public, you can get ostracized, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You can get rejected, you can be called weird. Fear. Fear will hijack your free mind. It will hijack you in 1,000 ways. Your mind, when you're walking around or talking with someone, and the tone of the voice changes, you scan that because it might be a threat. Your mind is occupied. There's energy. I'm talking about energy. Your body, your physical body, has limited resources, limited energy. It's like a muscle. When you spend all your energy on analyzing fear, analyzing threats, analyzing how to stay out of trouble, the rest of your mind doesn't get any energy anymore. No power. Because you wake up and you scan fears. You stay out of danger. If your mind is continuing this fear-based system, Your mind has no ability to develop anything else. It will stay stuck in this fear-driven mode. There's nothing you can do about it. You will stay in what is called a brain frequency of hyper alertness, really fast. Overthinking, control. How to fix it, how to stay safe. Boom. That's a danger. This could happen, and this can happen, and you're kind of occupied. Your mind's going to be occupied. You're never going to have peace. You can't sit still. Okay? So I'm going to introduce you to the 3 stages of consciousness. The one I just showed you, that's the doing. I am doing. Are you all doing? I am doing. Everyone is doing. I have the right to do. So my mind is going to help me do. Your mind is going to help you do. That's the first level of human consciousness. Fear-based. How to survive. How to get by. This is where everyone gets stuck. And then we enter a realm which is called the void. That's like meditation. And I want to address you that there are multiple ways to go into that realm, because that's very important. I'm going to show you how to go into that realm, because you need to alter your brainwave from this fear into this slower, relaxed, less survival-driven state of being, which is called the void. And in the void, your consciousness can self-analysis, self-reflect. Why do I have these feelings? Why do I feel this way? Is it good that I feel this way? Why am I scared? What is this weird feeling? Your mind shifts from, look over there, look out there. That's the danger, this danger, that ambition. I need to do this because otherwise that analytical mind needs to permanently shut off and go into this lower state of being called the void. And in the void, you will see what is known as frequency, energetic frequency. This feels off. Something is not right about this. I don't feel good. Something's wrong. I just feel inside that something is stuck. There's some emotion that is out of balance. Why am I this angry? Why am I this frustrated? And when you are in this fear-based mode 24 hours a day, you cannot go into this self-analysis to figure out why that is occurring. So I'm going to show you how you can go into the void today without any practice, without any religious whatever, without any drugs or whatever, because people do that kind of stuff to go into that state of mind. I'm going to show you how to do that. There's a trick, okay? Your mind has nerves. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a secret. Your mind has all these nerves. So your mind is processing things. Processing, busy with so many things. So what you want to do is shut it all off. And the best way to shut your mind off is by to limit the perception. It's like when you close your eyes, there's no more visible data entering your brain, and then the other faculties of the mind will get stronger. It's like a blind person tends to have a better hearing because he's more concentrated in the hearing. That's the philosophy, the frame of thinking. So the most nerves in the human system are in the hands and in the fingers. So you got to shut that off. You have to create unity. You have to create unity. That's all you got to do. So you have two brain hemispheres. So the left brain hemisphere is making an image, and the right brain hemisphere is making an image, and your mind is continually melting the image together into one picture. Costs a lot of energy. And these thousands of nerves in your hands, all this data processing, just keeps your mind busy. So when you wrap your hands with hand wraps, you need a special technique, you create some kind of an armor around your nervous system, whereby your left brain hemisphere and your right brain hemisphere don't have to use all those thousands of nerves to create a 3D model. It can just leech on the frame and shut it off. It can shut without being in a meditative state, automatically go there. You automatically go in this alternative state, which is a lower state of being, which is known as the void. And in the void, your mind becomes able to register the other things that you never register, known as the void. And in the void, your mind becomes able to register the other things that you never register when you're in this hyper-vigilant, that's a blonde woman, oh my God, and that looked like a bully, and oh my God, oh my God, all these, all right? So I'm going to show you the technique, because you have to properly know how to do this. It's not as easy as it looks. So I'm just going to show you you have to learn. There are resources on the internet how to wrap yourself. But I'm just going to demonstrate it to you one time, how to wrap your hands so that your brain gets adapted to melting. It is about melting the hemispheres. It's that the brain can relax and lock to the signal, the feeling of the frame. It's like you're putting a frame over the most sensitive part of your body with the most nerves, whereby the entire thing can shut off and just rely on the frame. And if the frame is exactly in the middle, if it's exactly in balance, your mind will take that balance and bring that balance to all other places of your body. And that will create harmony, ladies and gentlemen. So stay with me. I'm going to show you how to create that harmony. It's a cheat code. Anyone can do this. No, there's no skills needed. This is how you do it. I'll show you the exact technique. So you begin. Wait, let me get some light. And you exit. You make X's. It's all about the X, because it's two brain hemisphere thing. You make the X. Does your brain get a signal? Right. I'll put it into the. Let me get it into the light. Your brain, you lock it here. You wrap it around, and here it locks. I'll show you the lock. A little bit of bad lighting. Let me in there. There's the lock. You lock it like that, and you close it back. You go into the other direction. You close it. Here comes the tricky part. So the lower at the arms, it should X. You should have a perfect X. It's a geometrical thing. Once you have the perfect X, you go up here, and what you will see is that if you go to the other side, the X will go down. That's what you will see is that if you go to the other side, the X will go down. That's what they call the yin and the yang. It's an X. So once you find the X and you wrap in this X, yeah, the positive and negative energetic flow, you go over the thumb. You have to find the X. If you're doing this and you don't know where the X is, you're wasting your time, because your brain hemisphere is not balancing on the middle. So then your right brain hemisphere will become more dominantly active, and your left brain hemisphere will be less dominantly active. It's about the balance. So once you have the X in the thumb, you go up to the fingers. See the X? And you put them over there like that. It's an X. But we don't use that there. We keep in the X, and then you go to the next finger. You make the X again. So then the next, you wrap them around. All right, and eventually you'll get something like this. You pull them down a little bit. And make sure they're not too tight, because of the blood flow. They can be tight but not too tight. Let me get it into the light. And let me continue. So once you have it like that, you go back over the thumb like this. You go over the thumb and you lock it out. Look at this. So it's on the thumb, and you go there on the pinky again and you lock it. Look. The light is a little bit difficult. So you lock it like this. And then another time with the next finger. Like that. And again with the last one. Now you get something like this. And if you find the X, you have to stay focused on the X. Let me get it into the screen. You move your hand like this. You keep in the flow, in the X. And then I go, you see the X? I twist my hand, and what shows up? The other one, the other X. Very easy. And then you go back here. You twist it like that. It's just a very bad light, but I think you understand the theory. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be in harmony. Let me get it into the screen. And I just, you see this part here? Yep, there you go. And then I close it down. Okay, I'll just close the wrap. So what happens, oh, that's a bit dirty from the floor. Yeah, I need better light. Yeah, there you go. So what happens is that everything is, there's a frame around my hand. There's a frame around my hand. And it shows my brain where the middle point is. The negative and the positive flow. I'm always, it's like when you have a positive current and a negative current, and you connect them together and it starts melting. So in the brain, it starts melting continually, 24 hours a day, as long as you want to read it. So when your brain, when you have done this light is pretty terrible. Let me try to fix it. Yeah. When you do this day in, day out, year in, year out, it's like training a muscle. It's like muscle training. Every time you do it, it becomes stronger. Every single time you cheat your nervous system by melting them together with the blueprint, whereby the most sensitive part of your system can just relax and all the energy is saved and all energy goes to other places in your mind. These other faculties will activate, and it's gradually your mind's frequency of operating will go down and down and down and down, and then at one point become normal. Self-reflection becomes normal, and you're no longer in this hyper vigilant, that person is looking at me, that person is walking over there, what is this person thinking, the shift of the tone of the voice, how do I control the situation to my favor? This action reaction hyper vigilant, hyper extreme consuming energy. It's called fear. Fear-based operating can be shut off by this. It can be shut off. It can be shut off, but it's gone. Very easy. And once you are in this state of being where your mind relaxes, you can go inside. You see a whole other world. That world is called the void. And I'm going to tell you what you do in the void. Once you understand what I'm doing and what I'm trying to teach you, and you enter the void, in the void you look inside. So you no longer look outside. You go like, okay, why do I have these emotional imbalances? How do I fix this? How do I solve this? Because this part of the brain is designed to treat life differently. A different type of problem solving functioning. So once you are able, this is called meditation, only this is like a cheat. Once you use a cheat to go into a permanent state of meditation, and you're walking down the streets, your sensors, is like an antenna, are no longer registering all that noise. You start registering other stuff. For example, people have energetic frequencies. Their brains are emitting waves. So I'm not saying I'm reading people their fucking minds like a vampire. I'm not saying that. But I am saying I sense fear. Because fear is a very strong energy. Fear is a very strong energy. I'm telling you. So people have this nervousness about them. Subconscious fear. You can feel that. When you're in the void 24 hours a day, as long as you want, but at will, like a muscle you trained, you pick it up. This energetic frequency of fear. You're like, hey, dude, look at this one. That one is exceptionally afraid. There's all kinds of things you start registering in the void, whereby you see traces of energy. You don't see it, but you feel it. You become less fear-driven and more inclined to other cues in social life and in private life, whereby you can correct your actions. It's about correcting your actions. The first stage of being, you get born and you get the right from God to do. You get the right from God to do. That mind. The right to do. And when you get from God the right to enter the void, what does that mean? Is that God grants you the time to improve your doing. To think about what you're doing and why you're doing it and how to improve your doing. That's the purpose of the void. When you go into meditation, and I'm showing you the trick, when you get out of that fear-based consciousness, when you start picking up the other signals, it's like an antenna. I'm showing you how to tune out of the fear antenna and go into the meditation antenna, the void. In the void, you register a whole other frequencies of stuff. Once you train your mind to register that whole other world of experience, once you become skilled at that, you can use it in all-day life, and you have all kinds of skills that other people will never have, because they're still not fear-based operating. The skill set you will acquire in the void is all about reforming your inner actions. Okay, why am I afraid? Why am I angry? How did this way? How did I get traumatized? How do I fix this trauma? These are thoughts you cannot have when you're continually scared to die, scared to be bullied, scared to be too ugly. Why am I afraid? Why am I angry? How did this way? How did I get traumatized? How do I fix this trauma? These are thoughts you cannot have when you're continually scared to die, scared to be bullied, scared to be too ugly, scared to be too... This whole fear-driven energy. Okay. Once you are fearless this way, once you have retrained your mind to go in a different state of consciousness that is not so fear-driven, and this is very important, the whole Reformation of Martin Luther, a whole oeuvre of 80 books, all about how to not have fear. That's how important this is. Once you have overcome this fear state of being, and you have reformed your inner being in the void, in the meditative state, you go from the right to do, you go to the right to do better by being in the void. The void is to do better, to get the time to do better, to get the thinking process to do better. Once you do better, and you have done better, you get the right to be. Let me tell you something. The right to be. You don't have the right to be. You still have to do stuff. Yeah, you can't just wander off. You can't just wander off. You have a destiny to fulfill. You have been born for something. Right? So once you enter the void, you become receptive to a whole other level of stuff. So the trees, the trees have a bioelectric field. They have life force as well. They emit a signal as well. And we are humans. Our signals are action, reaction, really fast. This, that. So, and trees just standing there for 800 years. No action, reaction. It's slow. It's slow. The energetic field is slow. Harmonizing slow. So when a really trained person in the void, retrained, that mind has been attuned to the void for years, can sense their fears, can sense their emotional energies, can sense the atmosphere and the surroundings, and start sensing the energetic field coming up the trees. That energy field is so slow. When a human mind enters that field, it will overcome that human mind. That's when you become you be. You be. The slowness of the field versus the human field will force the human field to slow down and slow down and slow down and slow down some more, and all of a sudden another level of stuff shuts off in your mind and your brainwave goes slower, even slower, and that part of rationality goes away, and that part of criticality goes away, and that part of scanning goes away. The more you attune in the void to what is out there in the void, the more you harmonize yourself with whatever is out there. Yes? The more that public energy, God created the universe, installed everything the way how it is, and you tap into that universal stuff. For example, your mind is capable of registering bioelectricity from a tree and able to empower itself with that. In Asian Chinese medicine, they talk about this. You can ask artificial intelligence to show you that. Your brainwave is not tricked with human technologies. No, it is stabilized by an external force to a level so low that is not human, that doesn't make any sense to a human, and you will enter a state of consciousness that is so slow, you will simply be. And when you simply be, when you are being instead of doing, and you want to write a book of 6,000 pages, you have to sit still for a very long time. You have to be able to be and not do. Most people cannot stop doing for 2 seconds. Doing giant projects, doing giant things requires mental capacity, computing capacity, stability, all that stuff that you will not attain before you get the right from God to be. Once your mind can sit still and simply be, when your brain waves go that low that you can sit and simply be, that's when you can make legendary projects and differentiate yourself from the average humans, far beyond them. And differentiate yourself from the average humans, far beyond them. All right? Stages in life and the very lowest level is getting rid of your fear. And once you get rid of your fear, your mind can calm down and you can train other parts of your life and you can become an all-round human in harmony. And once you're in harmony long enough, going through the void in the meditative state of being, controlling yourself, controlling your mind, instead of your mind controlling you, then you can harmonize your life in that degree that you'll find out about the secrets and the mysteries of life, and then you can be. And once you can be, you can attain the exceptional, the stuff that once in a generation or once in 10 generations. That's what I'm talking about, when God gives you the right to be. When you master your fear and you do what you got to do, God will help you do it. And once you have done it long enough, God, and you do what you got to do, God will help you do it. And once you have done it long enough, God will give you the right to be. And that's what you want to be. Freedom of mind. How can you be free? How can you defend yourself? It's a lie. It's a paradox. I can register everything that is dangerous. But if I'm so busy scanning what is dangerous, how am I going to protect myself from the danger? That thought process needs to be made when you are allowed to be. I am being. How do I be in a safe position? That's how you actually protect yourself. Not by going like, there's a threat, there's a threat. That doesn't protect you at all. All right? This is the secret how to get rid of yourself. Not by going like, there's a threat, there's a threat. That doesn't protect you at all. All right? This is the secret how to get rid of your fears. And you must, if you want to be free, if you want to prosper, you have to master your fear.